glitch. Today we're talking about FIFA. We're going to be talking about the FIFA World Cup that's coming to the United States, Mexico, and Canada in June and July. Pop-ups, broadcast compounds, sponsor experiences, experiential experiences, production teams. All of that is mission critical. There is zero tolerance for failure. There is zero tolerance for any BS. No excuses. We're going to talk briefly, and the pictures you see on your screen here. This is articulating, putting all your eggs in one basket and thinking that your underground infrastructure is going to save you. No. Your underground infrastructure is good, but it's not the be-all, end-all. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Look, these are manhole fires. There's flooding. And the photos you see on the top here, underground fiber optic infrastructure typically follows the same underground paths. They're squished together. The conduit PVC pipes are all underground, squished together. And what happens if there's an accidental outage or a fire or an explosion or a flood? They all go down at the same time. And for what it's worth, when you're doing an event and when you're doing a mission critical event and the connectivity is critical, is a critical component in that event, there's no room for error. There really isn't. And, let's break it down one by one. What does it really take to power a global sporting activation? Well, it takes skill. It takes knowledge. And, this company, Natural Wireless, we've been around 23 years. Skill, expertise, or as I like to say, expert tutelage. It takes professionalism. There's no room for error. There's no, let's save a few dollars here. Okay, you want to save a few dollars? Okay, so what happens if your connectivity fails when you have 4,000 people sitting in your tent or in your restaurant and they can't get online, they can't access the app that was specially built for your production? Heads are going to roll. That goes back to, what we said earlier, why underground fiber alone creates hidden single points of failure. The underground fiber is the single point of failure. Don't get me wrong, underground fiber is great, but don't put your eggs in one basket. And if you're doing any type of World Cup FIFA show, pop-up shop, activation, experiential activation, sponsorship activations, connectivity is critical. I mean, a lot of the times, savvy production teams, they incorporate the connectivity into the creative, into the beginning discussions with customers, because those production companies and those folks understand that without proper connectivity, their activation won't work right. And if that doesn't work right, well, it goes downhill from there. Can you imagine if you have guest registration, you have 2,000 people coming to your show, and the guest registration, the people with the iPads or tablets in the front, your Galaxy tabs or your iPads, they won't work. They won't connect to the network, because someone on the production team or the customer said, we're going to use a hotspot and a 4G connection. We're going to be fine. No, that is absolutely not going to work. Think about it. You're going to have 2,000 people, let's say, and each person has 2 devices. That's 4,000 devices connecting to a cellular network that was never meant to support that amount of capacity. It's not going to work. Your guest registration from the beginning of that event is going to be poo-poo, and people are going to be pissed. So that's why production crews are incorporating the connectivity, local area networking, including Wi-Fi, in the beginning of conversations, in the creative discussions. And it's so important to start those conversations early on and not have it as an afterthought and think, we need internet and the show's 5 days away. First of all, it's going to cost a fortune. Natural Wireless can do that, but we're gonna charge. I mean, someone dropped the ball, right? If you're doing a dinner for 1,000 people and you forget to have dessert and you need dessert, on the fly, you're going to get charged out of the wazoo. And the same thing is to be said with the connectivity piece. What's the next bullet point here we're going to talk? We're going to talk about how dual path dedicated fixed wireless fiber removes that last mile risk. So we're talking about how fixed wireless fiber removes that last mile single point of failure risk with fiber. That it's removed because Natural Wireless owns, operates, and manages a network infrastructure that is totally independent from all underground last mile fiber and all underground last mile conduit. We are the largest private fixed wireless fiber network operator on the East Coast. What does that even mean? That's like a mouthful. It's like it's like a Seussism right there. That just means we don't rely on your traditional Verizons, Lumens, AT&T, Spectrum, et cetera, et cetera. All of those folks, they're awesome. I love those companies, but they all rely on the underground last mile conduit. Let me pull up that picture again. The picture you see on the top right, that's underground conduit. So in those yellow, blue, orange, and purple conduits, you have fiber spools, right? So you have, let's call it Verizon, Spectrum, Lumen, AT&T fibers. But what happens if there's an accident, a backhoe comes and cuts the line, or let's say there's a manhole fire, right? These things happen all the time. It doesn't matter that they're in different PVC pipes. Those connections are all going to be severed. And before you even think about what you're going to think about, if you're thinking about what you're thinking about, oh, we're coming in from a different avenue, a different street, guess what? Those underground fibers, they all meet up in its underground central vaults. And those vaults go back to the data center. So you're totally, completely reliant on that underground last mile infrastructure. So fixed wireless fiber from Natural Wireless, it eliminates that last mile single point of failure risk. And it's what event producers, agencies, corporate sponsors, it has to be required in 2026. The amount of time, energy, and sweat and money that's going to be spent for activations throughout the FIFA World Cup is going to be astronomical. It's going to be amazing. And we're proud to be part of that. But it's important to also help educate those that don't yet understand that just putting up a cellular hotspot is not going to work if you have an activation. And if you're going to rely on the internet, even if it's basic check-in in the front, people are checking people in on their tablets, it has to be a reliable connection. And when I say reliable, I don't mean a shared best effort coax connection, because that's just as unreliable as a shared best effort cellular connection. And if you're going to sit there and say, hey, oh, we're using a bonded quad band device that incorporates 4 different SIM chips into one, it doesn't make a difference. Those cell towers, that network infrastructure is going to be overloaded. It doesn't matter if you have 4 or 5 different carriers and it's aggregating into one. You can't get a good connection out of 4 crappy ones. It doesn't work. The solution, the answer to that is Natural Wireless. It's our fixed wireless fiber product. It is truly diverse from all underground last mile infrastructure. Speed, maybe you're thinking, oh, what speed can these guys deliver? The answer is as fast as 20 gigabits per second. 20 gigabits per second, ultra low latency. All of the connections come with public static IPs. From New York City, all 5 boroughs, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Queens, also known as Long Island City, Staten Island. Then you go into New Jersey, East Rutherford, Hoboken, Weehawken, Newark, West New York, Fort Lee, and then you're switching over. You're going to go into Philadelphia. You're going to go in Philly. We're in Philly. We're in Boston. We're in Miami. Listen, the network, it needs to work. There's no excuses. And as if you're a production technical director, production director, assistant director, grip, coffee runner, just understand the difference. A cellular hotspot is going to destroy an event. A best effort cable connection is going to destroy an event. A shared best effort fiber connection is going to destroy your event. You gotta put the planning, put the thought for dedicated fixed wireless fiber into the creative in the beginning. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. We'll leave it at that. Natural Wireless, what makes us so unique as our network design, as our network infrastructure. We are totally 100% path diverse, independent from all underground last mile carriers. Every single customer receives two separate dual path fixed wireless fiber connections. I'm putting on some power play music because this is freaking awesome. Every customer is connected to 2 separate data centers, and there's real-time automatic failover between each connection. You got that? Every customer is connected to 2 separate data centers, and there's real-time automatic failover between each connection. Okay, that's just how our network is designed in the cities that we are in on the East Coast: New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Boston, Miami. That's just the way it works. These events are going to need temporary high density, some maybe not so high density, some they just need Wi-Fi, some need hardline drop, some just need Wi-Fi, some just need very specific requirements. Natural Wireless has all of the local area and Wi-Fi capabilities you can desire, you can need. I mean, you have an event with 50 people, Natural Wireless has you covered. You have an event with 4,000 people, Natural Wireless has you covered. White glove, local area, and Wi-Fi network deployments. Natural Wireless has in-house card-carrying employees. We don't outsource our crews. Internal. You know, it's interesting that we're talking about this because I was reading in Cranes that the influx of tourists, of spectators, is going to skyrocket the cost for hotel rooms. That was the beginning of the article. And then at the end of the article, it said that, well, if you wait till the end, chances are the cost for hotel rooms are going to plummet towards the end because the hotels are going to have overage. They're going to need to rent out their rooms. So interestingly enough, that article kind of contradicted itself. That's why I'm bringing it up. Anyways, it was a funny thing. But what is true is that there's going to be a ton of people in the city. There's going to be a ton of pop-up events, a ton of production events, a ton of really cool shows that corporate sponsors are putting on for FIFA 2026. When the world is watching, your network can't blink. It works. There's no middle ground. When the world is watching, your network cannot blink. It must work. Let's talk infrastructure. Let's talk connectivity during the beginning phases discussions with customers. It's going to help people understand how important it is to have a reliable connection for an activation, for a pop-up shop, a merch shop. Oh, if you have a pop-up shop, maybe you're like, I have a pop-up shop. I'm going to sell, I have a license to sell FIFA gear, and I want to put 17 pop-up shops all over the city, all over New York and Philly and Miami. Great. And you're thinking, I'm going to use a hotspot. I'm going to use that, and it's going to be great. Wrong. It's going to tank, and chances are you're not going to make nearly as much money as you thought you were going to make because you are relying on a network that is best effort, which is a 5G, 4G, coax, or a shared fiber connection. It's best effort. You're going to rely on a best effort connection when you need to make money selling your merchandise. You have a quota. You want to make $2 million selling your merch, and guess what? Every time you swipe a card on your terminal, it doesn't work. Think about that. If you're selling merch, you're selling a sweatshirt for $120, and you have people lined up, around the block, 1,000 people lined up. Each sweatshirt's $150, $150, and your credit card terminal isn't working. Think about that. Think about how much it would cost to have Natural Wireless there versus, thinking about how much money you're going to save by going with a shared best effort connection from your cellular carriers or a shared fiber connection or a shared coax connection. Stay away from that stuff. There's a reason why it's so cheap. It's so cheap. It's because it's being shared by thousands of people. If you have a pop-up shop and you're selling merch, do yourself a favor. Get a dedicated connection. Call Natural Wireless. 9-event Wi-Fi. It's a great number. You can call 9-event Wi-Fi. You can also text 9-event Wi-Fi. I wish I knew the number off by heart. I probably do. Hit up that number, 9-event Wi-Fi. You'll get someone live. They'll talk. They'll help you figure it out. But again, I'm going to keep on doing these podcasts because it's really important that sponsors, production teams, merchandise crews, and for that matter, platforms that are actually going to do transactions for the World Cup in these cities, they understand the limitations of the network infrastructure that's in place right now. So With that, I'm going to leave it at that, and it is time to now go sell something. Go on now. Get out of here. Get out of here. Adios.